Hey guys, Akil here. If you frequent the podcast, and you know that a common theme to success is productivity and efficiency. And that's exactly why I chose Spotify for podcasters. Not only can I schedule, edit, and monetize from a single place, but I can also record from my phone, just in case one of those random ideas pops into my head and I got to get it out before I forget about it. Spotify for podcasters also helps me take the conversation to you guys, the fans, by allowing me to do video, share polls, and ask questions, which is, well, what keeps the show rolling. So if you're looking for the easiest way to streamline the podcasting process and maybe, put a few extra bucks in your pocket at the end of each month, check out Spotify for podcasters. I use it. I love it. I recommend it. Hey guys, Akil Stokes here. Welcome back to another episode of the Trading Coach Podcast. Today, we're going to ask the question, is winning too much a problem? My answer is yes, but I'll get into that into a little bit. First and foremost, welcome back to the show. This is a video episode, so if you want to see my beautiful face, you can watch this over on Spotify. They got this cool little thing. You can do videos now, which is awesome. And of course, on YouTube as well. And I wanted to have this conversation because a few episodes ago, or maybe last episode, depending if I'm smart enough to put these things together in the correct order, I talked to you about a trader who reached out who was kind of dealing with, he was asking questions about a new strategy he's working on where he had this awesome return on investment, but he wasn't sure if the win percentage was good enough or quote unquote good enough. And we had the conversation about adapting to your win percentage, how as a newer trader, you probably need to win a little bit more. And you have these kind of threshold levels for where you think you can win at before you go all psychologically crazy. But as you get more experienced, as you have more time in the game, that threshold can be a little bit lower. And I mentioned the DKC strategy that I'm trading in. I've always said that I would never be a below 40% trader because I'd explode. Yet, lo and behold, I'm trading a system that should hit around 35%. And I was thinking about that today, and I didn't want to give off the wrong impression that a low win percentage is a bad thing and that a newer trader needs to shoot for all of the wins in the world, because that's just not the case. And then we had a discussion in our Q&A session this morning on that as well. But I don't want to give off the impression that you need to win all the time, because trust me, needing to win or thinking you need to win all the time is a massive problem, and bigger picture, it's going to have a negative effect. I think the first thing that we need to understand is that as traders, we're probably not going to win all the time. If you look at some of the best traders or most of the best traders in the history of trading, most of them don't really have a super high win percentage, right? If you look at all the greats, right, they're not winning trades at a 90% clip, an 80% clip, a 70% clip, right? We're creating these numbers, and the internet's creating these numbers, I would say, to sell you systems. I mean, think about it this way, and I know this from firsthand experience because I do the trading coaching thing, right? It was always awkward when we do a video or do a podcast. I'm like, hey guys, Akil Stokes, trading coach, here are the systems we do, help you to become a consistently profitable trader. And people ask back, hey, what type of trader are you? What's on your return on investment? What do you win? And I'm like, I win like 45 to 55% of the time. And they're like, really, bro? Like, really? Aren't you trying to sell me a course? Like, you're not really selling me a course saying you win like 45, 50% of the time. Because again, to the traders that a lot of these internet things are kind of catering themselves to, right? These aren't necessarily traders. These are people that have this itch. They want this quick fix, and they know that the best way to sell them something is give this high win percentage, right? If you watch any ad on YouTube, you'll probably hear about it. High win percentage and this and this and that. The truth is that the best traders in the world and the best traders of all time don't really focus that much on their win percentage as much as they focus on their risk reward ratio, as much as they focus on managing risk. So understanding how can I have a minimum stop loss that gives me the safety I need in this trade, but also gives it enough breathing room to not get stopped out early. Or when price has shown that it's moving against me, that the trade is not necessarily going to go in my favor, how can I reduce that risk and take a minimal loss or less percentage loss than my initial plan? Or when I get that big winner, right, how can I make sure I take profits at the right location? Or if I think it's a runner, how can I let it run and maximize it, right? The real game of trading is kind of like this, like small loss, small loss, small win, small win, small loss, small win, small win, small win, small loss, big win, small win, small loss, right? That you notice there is every once in a while there's a big win, and that's what takes your return on investment, your equity curve up to the moon. But you'll notice that something's missing. There's never the big loss, and that's what professional traders don't take. Unfortunately, that's what a lot of rookie traders and struggling traders do take. Now, win percentage is an issue because as newer traders, we're blinded to it. Why? Because everything in life to this point has told us, right, the higher the win percentage, the better, right? Look at anything you've ever done. Just take your school days and test, right? The higher, the aim is to get a perfection on your test, 100%, right? If you get 99%, that is worse, right? So we're always being judged on win percentage. So therefore, we take that kind of mindset into the market where, I'm supposed to win all the time, right? Which is impossible, by the way, but I'm supposed to win all the time. And if I don't win all the time, I'm a failure. I could have done something better. And that's called being results driven, right? And the bigger issue is this, right? When we get these wins, it makes us feel happy, right? Our brain has this happy drug. It's called dopamine, right? We get the same thing through lots of things that bring us joy in life, like exercise is another one. But we get this dopamine hit, which is this chemical release every time we get a win. So this is how things pile on, right? As a newer trader, we get that win and we get that dopamine hit and it feels good. And now we're addicted to it and we get that next win and we get that dopamine hit and it feels good. And we start putting ourselves in this position where we're chasing that hit. And again, what this is doing is it's brainwashing, especially when we have the expectation that we're supposed to win all the time. It's brainwashing ourselves to kind of chase this thing that makes us feel good every single time. And when it doesn't happen, right, because every time we get a hit, it becomes less and less, right? So your first big trade is all exciting, and then your second big trade is exciting, but not as exciting. Then when you're like me, 15 years in the game, right, you don't even care anymore, right? Because it's just like whatever, we've been doing this for ages. But the point is that chemical release gets less and less and less, or that feeling gets less and less and less as you get used to it. And that just makes you chase more wins, because now that you're not getting the same feeling off that one win, well, I'll just get 2 wins and that will make me feel better. And what's happening is that we're shifting our mindset to winning being the most important thing. I had this, I've told you guys this story before, but I worked with a trader whose goal was to be like a 90% trader, a 99% trader, right? And he eventually did it, but he lost money. And he was so down bad in the hole that he didn't even care that he lost money, right? All that mattered to him was getting that 90% or whatever it was, 99% hit rate. I think it was 90%. But getting that 90% hit rate because he was just chasing that high. He was chasing that feeling, right? And you need to ask yourself the question, what is more important? Is it feeding my ego? Is it feeling that, getting that hit of being 90% correct? Or is it actually making money? And we have to get a grasp under what's important, because if we get too consumed with winning all the time and chasing those wins and understand that those wins are going to give us a less and a less exciting feeling, we're just chasing something that is ultimately going to lead us to failure, right? It's no different than drug addiction, right? I've never done drugs before, but I've always heard your first hit is your best hit. It's your first experience. And then after that, it gets less and less and less, and then you have to kind of go to harder core drugs to kind of chase that feeling again. And this is another reason why you see traders self-sabotage, where they may have profitable systems that are doing amazing, but that feeling is no longer enough, so they ditch what's good and making them money to do something else, hoping they'll get a better result, and they end up in the same hole. So what's the solution for this, right? Well, the solution is transforming your brain, right? We're always going to have pleasure. There's everything and different things in life that's going to give us pleasure. What we have to do and what we can control as individuals is, what is that thing that's going to give me pleasure, right? For example, is it going to be drugs? Is it going to be, think about, let's do this. Think about like habits and bad addictions, right? With habits, understand that, whenever you want to break an old habit, you need to replace it with a new one. So you just don't get rid of an old habit, you replace it with something. So if I have a bad habit of like smoking cigarettes or something like that, right? And so say that's something I want to break, I don't want to do it. Well, I need to replace it with something. So instead of my normal smoke break after dinner, I'll just go for a run or go for a workout. Right now, it's that workout. It's, that's what's giving me the dopamine hit versus that cigarette, right? So with trading, right, if the results is what's initially giving us that dopamine hit, we need to replace it with something else. We just can't get rid of results, right? Something has to stay there. We need to replace it with the process, right? And Easier said than done. This takes a lot of time. It takes a whole kind of paradigm shift to do. But if you do it correctly, right, you get to the point where the results don't even matter, right? You don't even care. You don't get happy or sad over a win or a loss, right? As we spoke about in the journaling podcast that we did, I think it was episode 798 or something like that. We don't get excited over the wins and the losses anymore. We get excited over following the process, and we make it a game. We make it a game where it's like, can I get a 100% hit on following the process? Winning trade, losing trade, doesn't matter. We want 100% good trades, and good trades are ranked as trades where we follow our rules 100%. You see the same things with entrepreneurs and wealthy individuals, right? There comes a time where, money's another thing that gives us this big hit. Once you get this, you get a brand new job, you get a brand new paycheck, you're all excited. Then that paycheck is the same over the next every 2 weeks, and you're not excited anymore, right? Money loses its value the more we get used to it, right? When I went from making like nothing in college to $30,000, it was super exciting, right? If I were to make $30,000 today, it's like, you're wasting my time. It doesn't give me the same hit. So we get to a point eventually with money where it stops bringing us the same happiness. It stops bringing us the same kind of pleasure. But the difference between kind of, entrepreneurs is they change the game. It's no longer about kind of making money for money purposes, right? It's making money because it's the game of getting a little bit better, doing a little bit more, being a little bit more efficient. And that's what we need to do as traders as well. So I thought it was an interesting topic. Leave me a comment if you're someone that thinks you have a winning problem, or maybe you think I'm wrong with this. Maybe you think winning is the solution. I'd love to have the conversation. Again, the Trading Coach Podcast is here so we can have these conversations and bounce different ideas off of different people. I can tell you that I'm not always right. I'm just bringing you my experience and the experiences of all the veteran traders I've spoken to over the years. But I'd love to hear yours as well. So you can hit me up on social media at Akil Stokes RTM. If you're listening or watching this on Spotify, there should be a comment section below where you can leave some feedback. I will check it out and I will let you know what I think. All right, until next time, plan your trade your plan. Take care. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We're experimenting with this thing right now where I'm dropping 5 new episodes a week, Monday through Friday. You guys requested it. I'm going to see if I can keep up with demand. I'm not sure, but if you do want to show your support, do me a favor. Subscribe to the podcast, leave me a rating, leave a review. That is the best way you can support what I'm doing. Trying to grow this into the biggest trading podcast in the world. I don't know why. I just like being the best, competitive nature in me. But if you can help in any way, it's much appreciated. All right. See you next episode.